This is the third day of the Operation Roaring Lion. The operation, the Israeli army and the state of Israel set out to, with our great friends, the United States of America and President Trump, to thwart existential threats to Israel and great threats to America and the entire world. When I stand here in a place that was bombarded by the terrorists in Tehran against innocent civilians, you see the difference. The tyrants of Tehran target civilians. We target the tyrants of Tehran to protect civilians. I've said for many years that they threaten not only Israel and not only America, they chant death to Israel, death to America. That's their ultimate target. But I said that they would also target those in between, that they would target Europe. They did. And if this regime, this terrorist regime of the kind we've never seen in the world, if they get nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them, ballistic missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, they will threaten all of humanity. So we set out to protect ourselves, but in so doing, we protect many others. And I want to say special thanks to our great friend and a great leader of the world, Donald Trump, for joining us in this crucial effort to save the world.
So they want to save the world. This is the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh." All right? Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makakwadash, double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, ruling well, teaching this truth on the highways and hedges, week in and week out, risking their life and freedom to do so. Shalom to the household of faith, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the Israelites. And shalom to you few sisters out there listening and learning. All right, in silence as the scripture stated, do so. Being a Hebrew Israelite is not a black thing, quote unquote, right? Because the speckled bird Israelites are you Israelites who look like the other nations, but go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, so, BB, he wants to save this world, okay, because they love this world. They love the mammon. They love the wealth, okay? They are your banking elites, okay? They are the people who write your legislation. They are your tech billionaires as well. The board of directors of any one of the Fortune 500 companies you can list. Think Vanguard, think BlackRock, Larry Fink, who wants to digitize or tokenize a 100 to 200 trillion dollar stock market, tokenizing all stocks, putting everybody into their technocratic global financial reset, new world order. And then what you're seeing over there in Iran is part of their Order Ab Chaos plan, order out of chaos. Okay, you destabilize and reorganize and bring in a solution for sale. This is how they operate. These are the devices, okay, of Satan. All right, the Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. In the King James KJV, devices of the devil refers to the crafty schemes, wiles, and strategies Satan uses to gain an advantage over believers. All right, these include deception, doubt, discouragement, division, unforgiveness, and temptation to sin, designed to undermine faith and hinder Yahweh's work. Right? These guys in their hubris, they forget about the Most High. They forget about Yahweh. They have forgotten and created false religions like, their form of what they call Judaism. Hubris refers to excessive pride, overconfidence, and arrogance, often leading to a severe downfall or failure. Okay, they shall say peace and safety, and sudden destruction shall befall them. Okay, it says originating from ancient Greek, where it signified defying the gods or overstepping human limitations. It is now used to describe dangerous, egotistical behavior in leadership, business, and daily life. Okay, hubris. It says key aspects of hubris symptoms: overestimating one's abilities, their importance, using excessive self confidence, okay, arrogance, being arrogant, okay, refusing to listen to advice and believing oneself to be above the law or superior. Okay, now we see this in various instances dealing with these specific entities. We have the unresolved Epstein situation, okay, and then we have the killing of a senior citizen who is the Ayatollah of the Iranian regime, okay, to destabilize and reinstall a puppet government, which we know if we look at history of Iran and the U.S.'s dealings in the 50s, I believe it were, they installed a puppet democratic um, government there, and it didn't work. And so Iran has not forgotten that instance in history, as it wasn't that long ago. So they will not certainly be going for the lies of the Western foreign dictators. Okay, so consequences, it says for hubris, it says inevitable downfall, ruin, failure, or public embarrassment, often characterized as pride that blinds. Case in point, recent, very recent news, they sent the stealth bombers over there to that allegedly obliterated the nuclear proliferation facilities of Iran. When that they didn't obliterate the program, they might have shook the ground over there and caused uh, some a little bit of damage to their deep underground facilities, but they didn't kill the program. And another thing is, let me just show you. So in BB Netanyahu's greatest hits, he's been at least for over 30 years saying, according to Google, for the last 30 years saying that Iran has been developing nuclear weapons. You can't make this stuff up, man. It's a particularly surrounding the 2015 Iran nuclear deal and its aftermath. While specific counted instances are numerous due to consistent, near annual rhetoric, key public warnings within the last 10 to 15 years include all of the. Let me show you. Look at this, man. Red Line speech in 2012, U.S. Congress address in 2015, Nuclear Archive presentation in 2018. So there is literally uh, greatest hits on Benjamin. You know what I'm saying, for his rhetoric, his lies about them uh, making nuclear, and they're a week away from creating a nuclear. You know what I'm saying, catastrophe. So it's all lies from these people, man. Okay, these people are liars. All right. All right, so with the conflicts going on and stuff like that, we got to look at how it's going to affect the economy. Uh, let's go. Let's see. Current geopolitical tensions and wars carry a high potential to drive inflation upwards, primarily through supply chain disruptions, elevated energy prices, and increased commodity costs. All right, so that's highlighted. Supply chain disruptions, elevated energy prices. Okay, and increased commodity costs. So, what does that mean? Supply chain disruptions, for instance, you have the potential blocking or congestion of the Strait of Hormuz as a bargaining chip, right? Which would slow uh, global the global trade. Okay, and that will clog the supply chain. Okay, uh, elevated energy prices, right? The cost of oil, the cost of fuel, all right, the cost to transport goods and services, right? And then increased commodity costs. So you go to your grocery store, you go to a parts supply or anything of that nature, any commodity that you could think of is going to be increasing in cost due to this conflict. Or it says research indicates that spikes in geopolitical risk typically lead to higher inflation. All right, so we think it's bad now. Okay, the cost of a credit or a loan is going to increase as well. Those interest rates are going to increase dramatically. Right, the cost of borrowing. All right, it says with a 2022 style war shock potentially adding roughly 1.2 percentage points to global inflation, and that's pretty high, man. I'll just read the key impacts driving the inflationary potential. Okay, just the titles: energy and commodity spikes. Okay, supply chain disruptions, military and fiscal spending. Okay, persistent pressures. All right, so it says, I'll read the last one. It says, while some initial shock impacts might be transitory, sustained conflict risk suggests inflation may stay higher for longer, complicating central bank efforts to lower interest rates. So this is all a plan. All right. You know, people often cite um, these things as population control, but it's ultimately all biblical. These things were all written. Okay, remember their pride and their hubris is going to cause a lot of, like, the way you live is going to change dramatically and very soon. Let's look at some precepts. Now, this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. It's a biblical proverb warning that arrogance and overconfidence lead to failure. It signifies that excessive self worth, right? That's like selfishness, like thinking that, okay, you're worth more than what you think, than what you really are worth, I should say. You know, that's gonna, it says it often causes people to ignore flaws or risks. That goes into that hubris, right? Having that hearty, that high minded spirit. And when that happens, you know, it's kind of like seeing a peacock, you know. So it's very flamboyant, it's very colorful, it's very distracting, right? And what it does, what it's meant to do is it's meant to distract, okay, the mind, the eyes, the senses into what the real issues are, the underlying issues, all right, that are very, very present and very dangerous, okay. All right, so it says here, it signifies that excessive self-worth often causes people to ignore flaws or risks, resulting in a sudden harsh downfall. All right, so that's true, man. You know, we see these conflicts on the world stage, and many don't realize that it's just it leads. It's like a domino effect, right? So what that means is, like, you know, the dominoes end up falling. All right, and those dominoes are the different pieces of what makes your day to day what it is right now. And those dominoes beginning to fall are going to upend or disrupt your way of life. All right. Another precept is this. Second Ezra 15. I'll begin at verse 15. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So it says that there shall be sedition among men. All right, so sedition's definition is conduct or speech that incites people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. All right, so once again, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch, which is a king. Okay, so what does that seditious activity look like? Agitation. Here are some similar. Here's some synonyms, right? It's provocation. It's inflaming. It's rebellion. It's revolt. Okay, it's insurrection. It's rioting, mutiny, insurgents. These are all similar words. Insurgency, subversion, insubordination, disobedience. All right. So you get the gist of what sedition among men is going to look like in the coming days, weeks, months, years. All right, verse 7, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, it says in verse 18, here's the point, for because of their pride. Okay, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. Okay, and it says the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Okay, it says in verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which is the weapon, the gun, it says, and spoil their goods, which means to steal their stuff, their belongings, because of the lack of bread. Okay, remember going into the disruptions behind this conflict and what it's going to cause as far as those dominoes falling, supply chain disruptions, things of that nature, sedition among men, lack of bread, right? And it's going to cause violence in the streets. It's going to cause people to lose their minds. Okay, that's the great tribulation. All right, and these are just the beginnings of sorrows. Okay, Yahushua told us that's just the beginning of sorrows. Great tribulation. Let's look that word tribulation up. Tribulation, a cause of great trouble or suffering. All right, a cause of great trouble or suffering. That's what's coming, man. And this is right out of their playbook, man. This is what the Edomites, the devil on the earth, have prescribed. The Antichrist has prescribed this. The anti-life regime has prescribed. Okay, what it will do is it would disrupt the supply chain, cause people to go hungry. It will bring famine. It will bring pestilence. And what are they going? What is the plan? The plan is to bring in a solution that is technocratic. Okay. Now, a technocratic solution is an approach to solving complex societal problems such as poverty, climate change, or economic crisis by relying on scientific expertise, data driven optimization, which is the huge data centers in artificial intelligence. Okay, it says, and technological top down fixes rather than political negotiation. Right, so this is why they have what they call a board of peace. Remember in the scriptures it says, they shall say peace and safety and sudden destruction. Well, they are putting together through their technocracy a board of peace, which is an international organization established by DJT, or aka Nero 47, in the early 2026, designed to oversee the Gaza peace plan, facilitate reconstruction. See, the plan is, when they tear down, they're gonna, run it with a solution, facilitate reconstruction, right, and intervene in global hotspots. Okay, it operates as a U.S.-led body with an executive board of and over 25 member states, focusing on Gaza's transition. Okay, I'll read this key point: the controversy. Critics, including some Palestinian representatives, have described it as a farce due to a lack of Palestinian involvement. All right. Others, including several NATO allies, view it as an illegitimate rival to the United Nations. As we know, the United States has kind of backed away from the United Nations. All right, as they are attempting, they have actually the international court, I should say, is going after Bibi, and they put a arrest warrant out for him for war crimes and crimes against humanity, violations of the United Nations treaty and whatnot. So yeah. So back to the technocratic solution. Got to touch on this data-driven optimization. Let's look at that. Data-driven optimization uses real-time and historical data, artificial intelligence, and analytics to proactively refine processes, maximize efficiency, and inform decisions rather than relying on intuition. All right, so they're going to be using pretty much a digital prognostication model, i.e., forecast model, okay, which is a part of the false miracles and lying wonders that Esau is promoting. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9 through 12, lying wonders refer to what they say here, supernatural signs performed by Satan or the Antichrist to deceive people during the end times. These false miracles accompany all deceivableness of righteousness, okay, among those perishing because they rejected the truth, okay, leading Yahweh to send a strong delusion to believe lies. So these people are using their forms of medium in a very methodical way. All right, so meaning they're using technology, and it's considered a innovative marvel to some. So these people are pretending to be God, you know. So it's prescribed that this is what these Edomites would do, in these times. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3 is where I begin. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, all right, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And that's exactly what's going on. They over there in the Holy Land trying to play God. They act like the Heavenly Father set them up to be over there like that. And these is Edomites, man. Those are Edomites right there. Those are not Judeans. Okay? They're not from the tribe of Benjamin, Levi, Simeon. They're not from Zebulun, Ephraim. They're not from Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, nor Issachar. None of the above. All right? These people are there for a land grab, okay, and to deceive the world. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it with that. And Lord's willing is edifying. I want to give all praises again to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash, and to the next one. Shalom.